All right, and welcome to Better Understanding the Bible. I'm your host, Alice, and let's get to it. In this episode, understanding the context of Genesis, the suitable helper, flesh and bone, man and woman. Introduction to Genesis 2, Part 2. We will be continuing discovering the template and how it compares to the account given of Adam's creation, and how everything that takes place in the Adam creation is following the template's construction, and it gives us a further, deeper, and more complete understanding of what the template is talking about, as we see it applied perfectly to Adam, fulfilling for us a lot of contextual needs. But we can also see that it completely follows the process of the covenant template of Genesis 1. Let us continue now into day 6. For in day 1, we discussed how God was calling out a people out of darkness. In day 2, he was establishing them within his presence. And then day 3, we have the day 3 people being formed as God breathed into them. They became the living peoples of the covenant earth. Well, when we get to day 6, we see that earth is now filled with the covenant people. But now we also have the living creatures, the cattle, the creeping things, and the beasts of the earth. And God filled it with non-covenant people as well. And he says, let us make man, our day 3 covenant people, to have dominion over not only just them, but also of all the sea. And God created them and did so in the image of God, male and female. He created them. So we got the filling of the earth, dominion given to man, male and female, and this dominion is over also the unclean and the people, the day 3 people. That's the covenant template. When we compare it to the creation account of Adam in Genesis 2:15, the Lord took the man on day 3, the formed day 3 nation, and put him in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. So he becomes the high priest of the garden, and now the king of the earth. So if we follow this through, we're going to see the covenant template introducing to us spiritual adultery. We are going to see a big focus on seed succession and the creating of the priesthood. As we continue in Genesis from 2:15, going right along to 2:18, we read, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a suitable helper for him. Out of the ground God formed every beast of the field and brought them to the man." So here we have the nations being created, being brought to Adam on the covenant land. But for Adam, there was not a helper suitable for him. These unclean nations were not found suitable to be his helper. Interestingly, when we read about Abraham and his account of his son, we see covenant man Abraham reading, "Now Abraham was old, well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his household, who had charge over all that he had, 'Put your hand under my thigh, that I may make you swear by the Lord of God of heaven and earth, that you will not take a wife for my son by the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell, but will go to my country and to my kindred and take a wife for my son Isaac.'" So when we compare the beginning of the nation in creation covenant with Adam, and we get the beasts of the field are not suitable helpers, it's very interesting here that Abraham, a covenant man, who is on the earth, finds himself in a unclean nation, a beast of the earth, the Canaanites, but they were not good for his son. "Please go to my country and to my kindred to take a wife." So he says, "Go back to my own people." Very interesting, because we read in Deuteronomy a law that supposedly came later, which I have been suggesting was the exact same law that we saw in Adam's kingdom being inherited and passed through, and that's why these same applicable commands we see are actually established in the covenant template. Deuteronomy 7:1-4, "When the Lord your God brings you into the land and clears away many nations before you, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites," that we just read about with Abraham, the Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, you shall make no covenant with them. You shall not intermarry with them, giving your daughters to their sons or taking their daughters for your sons, for they would turn you away from following me to serve other gods. Then the anger of the Lord would be kindled against you and destroy you quickly. And that's exactly what happened throughout Israel's history, even up to King Solomon. As it reads, now King Solomon loved many foreign women, along with the daughter of Pharaoh, the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Sidonian, and the Hittite women, from the nations concerning which the Lord had said to the people of Israel, you shall not enter into marriage with them, neither shall they with you, for surely they will turn away your hearts from go after their gods. But Solomon clung to these in love, and his wives turned his heart away from God. For when Solomon was old, his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not wholly true to the Lord his God. We see this theme go all the way from the template, all the way even into the new creation system. As Paul explains, one can't be faithful to more than one God. The body of Israel under Solomon, we saw, got corrupted once the whole body of Israel got corrupted by Solomon's lead. Paul is teaching the same thing to the body of Christ, that spiritual adultery, the blending of religious beliefs, is not a good thing and will cause destruction in your relationship with God. And he actually quotes Genesis 2 for his proof text, saying, do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ? Shall I then take away the members of Christ and make them members of a prostitute? Or do you not know that the one who joins himself to a prostitute is one with her? Well, to a prostitute is one body with her. For he says, the two shall become one flesh. But the one who joins himself to the Lord is one spirit with him. So those who are in covenant relationship with God have been made one with God. They're unified with him. But those then who go and intermingle with other gods and take those doctrines, those religious belief systems, and blend them, well, now you have two gods, and you can't be faithful to two. So that blending is the destruction of the relationship between God and his people. And we see that, like I said, legalized, and then we see it actually take place. So as it says, but for Adam, there was not found a suitable helper for him, for the nations were not suitable. So God, taking this into consideration, caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh at that place. And God fashioned it into a woman, that rib. Then the man said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. And that's obviously referring back to the Genesis 1 covenant template, day 6, where the earth was filled, and now dominion is being given and ordered so that the man would have reign over both the heavens and the earth. And we have the covenant template telling us in the creation of Adam about the creation of the woman and how she was taken out of man, bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Now keep in mind, when we read about that Abraham story, it says that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell, but will go to my country and to my kindred to take a wife. It is not good that man shall be alone. She was taken out of man. Now Adam is the name, the dominion given to the peoples of Adam. In Genesis 5, the genealogy, we read where in the creation that God named them man in the day he created them male and female. Well, we have here the same situation with the covenant man Abraham, who God made covenant with, and now we have Abraham saying, I need to go to my own people in order to find a wife. And as we continue reading, we see the same idea attached to the flesh and bone statement. For now Ambielech, the son of Jerubbaal, and Shechem to his mother's relatives, went to Shechem to his mother's relatives, and said to them, to the whole clan of his mother's family, say in the ears of all the leaders of Shechem, which is it better for you, that all the 70 of the sons of Jerubbaal rule over you, or that one rule over you? Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. Interesting. So does that mean that Abimelech was taken, someone was put to sleep, and a rib was cut out, and they formed him and made him flesh and bone? Does it? No, that doesn't make sense. Let's keep reading 2 Samuel. And King David sent this message to Zadok and Abiathar the priests, saying, Say to the elders of Judah, You are my brothers, you are my bone and my flesh. Say to Amasa, Are you not my bone and my flesh? God do so more to me, and more also, if you are not the commander of my army, from now on in the place of Joab. Now, what's interesting is how the flesh and bone is absolutely a Hebrew, and I'm pretty sure a cultural idiom, to being your own people. So that's marriage staying within the family. As we continue reading in 2 Samuel, even at the anointing of David, then all of the tribes of Israel came to David at Hebron and said, Behold, we are your bone and flesh. And the Lord said to you, You shall be shepherd of my people Israel. So all of the elders of Israel anointed King David over them, because he was their bone and flesh. Then all of Israel gathered together to David at Hebron and said, Behold, we are your bone and flesh. Even the Chronicles uses the exact same phrasing when referring to this event. And this is a very powerful thing for us to understand, because when we look at Numbers 36, verse 7, for the inheritance, it does say that thus no inheritance of the sons of Israel should be transferred from tribe to tribe. For the sons of Israel shall each hold to their inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. So even the staying within your own tribe is become a thing in the law of Moses, which again I am purporting was the same system that was put over Adam, and we see these exact same things established in the covenant template, and then accordingly being established in the foundation of Adam in the garden. Genesis 2. It is not good for man to be alone, so I will make him a helper suitable for him. I will make. And he took one of the ribs and closed up the flesh and fashioned that into a woman from that rib, and said, This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. This person comes from my tribe, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Man is a nation reigning and ruling over the earth. Woman was taken out of that nation when that nation was created and given to Adam to marry. Why? Well, when we read Numbers 3:1-5:1, and don't forget, this woman was taken out of that day three people, that covenant people. And we see in Numbers 3:1-5:1 a very interesting example. As it says, Aaron, the elder brother to Moses, the house of the high priest Aaron, it says that these are the generations of Aaron and Moses. These are the names of the sons of Aaron. Nadab, the firstborn, and these are the sons of Aaron, the anointed priest, whom he ordained to serve as priests. So firstborn is very important in here, and then we have this being the house of Aaron. This is talking about the right to succession, that Nadab, the firstborn, would have the right to take place of Aaron once Aaron passes. We read, Bring the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron to help him, and they will help him and all the Israelites at the meeting tent doing the work in the holy tent. For every firstborn among the sons of Israel is mine, but instead I have taken the Levites of every firstborn. Let me reread that. For every firstborn among the sons of Israel is mine, but I have taken the Levites instead of every firstborn among the sons of Israel. I have given the Levites as a gift to Aaron and to his sons to perform the service of the sons of Israel. So here we actually have a suitable helper being created, being taken out of the covenant man Israel to serve Israel. And now the wording here is very interesting because I have given the Levites as a gift to Aaron and his sons. A man's greatest treasure is his wife. She is a gift from the Lord. And when we take a look at that gift, the 54:14, when we take a look at that for its meaning, we find that the gift is to give, to put, to set. In fact, it's the exact same word, interestingly, that's used when God, in the creation template, placed the lights in the firmament, in the heavens. So here we have we have God creating the heavens, then he gifted the heavens with the lights. And here we have the Levites being gifted to the high priest. The high priest is the one that goes into the Holy of Holies to be in the presence of God. The Adam character who's walking in the garden in the presence of God. And we have the Levites are being given to Aaron so we have a group of people being given to the high priest to work the service. So these are God putting lights in the heavens to separate light from the darkness in the sea, which is exactly what their job was to go in and service the temple, the Levites, to be in the heavens and the earth. And we understand that the heavens is a rendering of the temple itself, literally, and is the place of God in his presence, the garden. So it's very interesting wording. It goes on to say that the Levites too purified themselves from sin and washed their clothing. Aaron also made atonement for them to cleanse them. Then after that, the Levites went in to perform their service in the tent of meeting before Aaron and before his sons. That's very interesting. That's very powerful stuff because here we have a wife preparing herself for a marriage covenant to be pure and sinless. Just as we read of the covenant transfer of a new covenant being made with Jesus, where it says, "Blessed are those who have washed their robes, so that they may have the right to the tree of life, and that they may enter into the city by the gates." Numbers 8:14, it says, "Thus you shall separate the Levites from among the children of Israel, and the Levite shall be mine." So here we have a group of people, the Levites, being taken out of the covenant man and being given to the high priest to help him. Well, when we take a look at this should very much remind us of, so in day one, we have God calling a people out of darkness. Well, we have Israel being separated, being called out from Egypt. And God said, "I separate the light from the darkness." Well, here we have Israel being separated from Egypt. Day two, we have the temple, the tabernacle of Moses, the courthouse being created. On day two, a place for God's presence. Then on day three, we have the law being agreed to in the template. And here we have the tabernacle of Moses is up and going. The law is being given to Adam, the Moses, the high priest Aaron figure. And now he's being given, on day four, he's filling the courthouse with workers of the tabernacle of the courthouse. We literally are watching in a new system, the recreation of what we see being established with Adam, that's according to the template of Genesis 1, the suitable helper taken out of covenant man Israel, given to the high priest Aaron in order to run the heavens. And I saw the new holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, being made ready as a bride adorned for her husband. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This reason, so the woman was taken out of man, as we just witnessed. So for this reason shall this man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Seed succession, hereditary title. So the Lord said to Aaron, but bring with you also your brothers, the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your family, that they may be joined with you and serve you while you and your sons are before the tent of the testimony. And just as we read in Genesis 2:3, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife. Bring with you also your brothers, the tribe of Levi, the tribe of your father, that they might be joined with you and serve you. The marriage of the suitable helper, the woman, the temple workers. Aaron the high priest and his sons were given seed succession to rule over the priesthood, while the Levites who were given to Aaron as a helper, just as we see Adam was given Eve, man and woman, given dominion. I myself have taken your fellow Levites from among you. They are a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord to perform the service of the tent of meeting. But you and your sons with you shall attend to your priesthood for everything concerning the altar and inside the veil, and you are to perform the service. I am giving you the priesthood. So here we have the inheritance and seed succession, the priesthood given to Aaron, and they are the only ones, the high priest that will go into the Holy of Holies, going inside the veil. Well, this is the high priest, the Son of God, just as the priesthood and his wife, Adam and his seed, Son of God, Jesus and his seed, the sons of God. And this is where we have Aaron and the Levitical priesthood. The sons of God are Aaron's married to the woman, the sons of God, the workers of the heavens. And we see in Genesis 1:29, it says, Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree and the seed with its fruit, and you shall have them for food. And that's exactly what God ends up giving. All the offerings of the holy gifts which the sons of Israel offer to the Lord, I have given to you and your sons and your daughters with you, as a perpetual allotment, and it is an everlasting covenant of salt before the Lord to you and your descendants with you. And the Lord said to Aaron, You shall have no inheritance in their land, nor any portion among them. I am your portion and your inheritance among the sons of Israel. So we have those who dwell on the earth, the Israel nation, and those who dwell in the heavens, the temple high priest. Just as we read in Numbers 36:7, Thus no inheritance of the sons of Israel shall be transferred from tribe to tribe, for the sons of Israel shall each hold to the inheritance of the tribes of his fathers. The high priest King Adam, with the woman seed line kept separate from the nations of the earth, inheritance of the throne, and why Jesus had a genealogy back to Adam, the legal right of inheritance to Adam's garden, the high priest with dominion.